this mind. It's also Buddha teaching mentioned the emptiness mind. It's true, it's the emptiness. I don't say that we can find anything substantially solid existing at all. It doesn't matter how much you're expert, how much you are investigating, analyzing, there's nothing to find. Since from the beginning of the 2,600 years ago, until now, there's so many great intellectuals, scholars, experts, investigators, analyze it in so many ways they're trying to find out. Nobody found at all. So it's the emptiness mind. But yet, emptiness mind is the empty mind is the source of every creation. See, everything is created by this emptiness mind. Mind is behind the scene of the physical, behind the scene of the verbal communications. That we know. Yet, even though it's nothing to be found, yet it is really doing everything. And from the mind, reflecting of these negative emotions, and this becomes the cause of suffering too. And then we all that sufferings are coming, that which is known as the karma, continually. So now, when we're talking about the karma, again, I mentioned yesterday, and of course you know me, it's not something I'm talking that you never heard, and then so talking that, but it is karma. So karma is made by the mind, and the negative mind created negative karma, and positive mind created the positive karma. And who is going to experience? Is one's own, ourselves. One's own creators are going to experience the karma. That loudly, clearly, doesn't matter how much time it takes, how many lifetimes it takes, but one time, once and surely it will came so clearly, so vibrating way, and will pronounce that exactly. Even though maybe you don't know what the cause is, but it is according to the gracious teacher, Buddha Shakyamuni teaching is caused by our own negative emotions. So now, yesterday we went, the divided of the negativity, there is two negativities. One is natural negatives. That means, I think, universally, societally proved negativity. And those are the 10 non-virtues. And I listed those, and I went a little bit over each details of each point yesterday. Tell you that, and that's natural. Doesn't matter whatever society you live, whatever tradition you are, whatever language you speak, those 10 non-virtues are, everybody thinks this is not right, that is not right. That's what we call naturally negativities. Then there is another negativities. Negativities, if we did those, then it becomes negative. Otherwise, it's not negatives. And those are, I translated the other day, forbidden unvirtues. All restricted unvirtues. So that means it's restricted, but if we maintain on that system, restriction as in line, then that is not negatives. But if we overpass that, if we didn't follow that rule, then it becomes negatives. Why? Because also we are made commitment. We promise that we will keep that. So you are against our own word, or we are against our own promise, our commitment, what deals with what we said. And so that is known as then the what's called the forbidden or restricted non-virtues. And the now restricted non-virtues is generally what is the teachings of the Buddha. Every kind of use general terminology of these restricted unvirtues is moralities. It is morality. Why Buddha made those guidelines, those rules? Because to protect us from old habitual patterns. Therefore, these rules are not kind of like forceful, these rules are not just a kind of punishing, these rules are not suppressing, pushing down us, but these rules makes us more light, more simple, more peaceful. These rules we can understand how important to respect and appreciate each others and everyone, how we should stay in harmony and peacefully. How we should be stayed. So therefore, these rules is nothing but how to simplify our life with calm, peaceful, respect and appreciation to every living being. These rules and regulations are also known as like environmental friend. How respect to everyone. That's what really it is. All that. So therefore, it's so special, so beautiful. Once you follow that, it's nothing really, anything kind of strange rolled out, but nothing but how to be mindfulness, how to be kind and compassionate, to preserve that attitude and act that way and maintain that way. That's what really the teaching is all that these rules are. And so when we're talking about the rule, then first I talk all that the restricted or guidelines of what the gracious teacher Buddha taught. It has two guidelines. Those are known as first the short-time guidelines and the long-term guidelines. Short-time guidelines are particularly designed for the lay practitioners. And of course, ordained ones can do, but the lay practitioners, those who like to keep the guidelines or like to keep for short time, such as 24 hours. And those are in the teaching said, what? Upasikas. Upasikas, or it is also known, I'm making a different story, but that is known as the Nyene, short time. Short time, 2 hours, 24 hours. What do you keep for short 24 hours? It is that first 4 principal negativities. And those are killing, stealing, sexual conduct, and lying. Those are 4. Above that, intoxicating. Any intoxications. Those are known as 5. Above that, what? Not singing, not dancing, not putting the perfumes, as well as not ornating ourselves, all together at percept. That is, those people individually, lay practitioners, like to keep that for 24 hours. That is what is really known as at percepts. Again, not killing, not stealing, not sexual conduct, and not lying. That is a 4 principle. Above that, not intoxicating. And intoxicating is what it's called. It's called again, trying to stay more alertness. If intoxicated, we could lose, or we will lose our mindfulness. So those are the 5. Above that, known as not singing, not dancing, not performing, and plus, and not putting ointments, not making makeup, not making or maybe ointment or perfumes, and not ornating or the ornaments. Those all together is at percept. And then with that, there is another percept. Those are known as the Nyune practice. Many of you know that's a very popular practice in the Tibetan Buddhism, Nyune practices. That is also similar, but Nyune practice is a little more than 24 hours. It is 2 days, 24 hours, 2 times. And that has also above that at percept, not drinking, not eating, and not talking. When you're not eating, not drinking, not talking, or when you do that, when you take that percept, what do? Then just completely engage it and spend time on the practice, meditating, reciting the mantra, and or cultivating with bodhicitta. That's really what they do. So that is what the new short time percepts. Now, second is long-term percept. Long-term percept is then can be divided into, as we said, according to Vajrayana teaching, divided into three. And the Patti Moksha vows, Bodhisattva vows, and Vajrayana vows. So there is three vows, or three different commitments. First is the Patti Moksha vows, which is foundation vows. Vows or the guidelines of the foundations. Now what that means? Guideline or foundation of the Bodhisattva vows, foundations of Vajrayana vows. What is that? That is the Patti Moksha vow, or many times commonly named as like Vinayas. Vinaya vow is a foundation of the Bodhisattva vows and Vajrayana vows. So that is really what the foundation is. Foundation, Vinaya vow, which is also known as Patti Moksha vows. Moksha vows, all the Vinaya vows. Basic vows or the guidelines of the basic Buddhist schools. This is the difference between that guideline have to be observed by the Mahayana practitioners or Bodhisattvas and as well as Vajrayana practitioners. Of course, person like or Shavaka and the Patti Buddha, Jnana also they have to observe that practices. So now we talk about the fourth, really about this first vow, first vows. First vow is the Patti Moksha vow or the Vinaya vows. Vinaya vow can be divided into first two groups. Lay practitioner vows and the ordained practitioner vows. That is the two major divisions. Lay practitioner vows, that is, the lay practitioner like to keep. They like to be lay, or as a regular person, but at the same time they like to observe, they like to preserve some really vows. So they can maintain more simple, more peaceful, more harmonized, and maintain. What are those? In the opening in the teaching said, for example, there are 5 principal vows. 5 principal vows are, again, not killing, not stealing, not lying, not sexual misconduct. Those are the 4 rules. Above that, not intoxicating. Those are the 5 principal vows of the lay practitioners, whether they're men or whether they're women. And then there's ordained aspect, that is really, I'm not talking really. And then ordained aspect practitioners, then there is novice monk, male and female. So that means novice monk, novice nuns. And then fully ordained monks, fully ordained nuns. Then in between the fully ordained nuns, there is called the Gelugmas, some other things. But anyway, those are all known as the ordained ones. Again, if I talk really about that vows of these novice monks, how much they have vows. Principle is 10 vows, 10 principal vows. And if we extended that more, it is called 33 different vows. So novice monk have the 33. I will summarize that into the 10 groups. And those are very similar that 24-hour vows, short-term vows. That is very similar. Similar. And what is the extra is, and not eating the food in the afternoon, At the same time, not taking the precious jewels or the precious materials, and not sitting in the higher thrones or higher bed or the expensive bed or expensive thrones. Those are the novice monks. And then how many vows? The monks has. Monks has 253 vows. 253 vows. That is the monks. And the nuns, fully ordained nuns, even has more. And the teaching said 363. 363 vows. Why ladies has more vows? Because in the teaching said ladies are more vulnerable in the obstacles in the world, when they in the outer world. Therefore, to protect and to protect in upkeeping their morality and their conduct. So therefore, those extra guidelines, over 100 extra guidelines. Those are the making, because it's all, again, as I said, preservation and their vows, at the same time not disturbing to anyone. Calm and peaceful, respect and appreciation. That is the what vows of the Vinaya vows. Now that Vinaya vow is a foundation, as I said already, is foundation vows. And above that, when you take the Bodhisattva vows, then is above that. Above the Vinaya vows, you take the Bodhisattva vows. Bodhisattva vows can be like summarized into again, to simplify is the old Bodhisattva, Bodhicitta, as we told them. When you in order to become, you take the Bodhicitta vows. Bodhicitta vows has two divisions: wishing Bodhicitta and actualizing Bodhicitta. Wishing Bodhicitta. And the wishing Bodhicitta is the intention, of course you all know that, intention developing compassion thought in the heart. The principal essence of the Bodhicitta is compassion and wisdom, combination of compassion and wisdom. What that means? Thinking about, by compassion, you're thinking about all living beings, to remove their suffering and difficulty, troubles, like to benefit, help to all beings, like your compassion. By wisdom, you're projected to obtain more skill, more method, more rapid realization, so that you can apply that compassion and reach out to more easily to every living being. So therefore, it's a combination of the compassion and the wisdoms. And how that developed in the heart. How did you develop the unwavering and immense compassion when you develop that heart, thinking of all living beings? And I like to really remove their suffering and difficulty, or like to help to others according to my best capabilities. I really like to help with that. When you have that attitude and thought, mind, that is known as wishing Bodhicitta. Wishing Bodhicitta. With that thought, now you take the vows. You take the vows, again from the lineage masters, the lineage, you take the vows. Once you receive the vows, you become known as Bodhisattvas. Now, Bodhisattva means, is Sanskrit word, if I translate it into English, courageous ones for the enlightenment. So to reach enlightenment, we have to have the courage. We have to have confidence. We have to have determinations. We have to have open, vastness mind. That is really the identity, foundation, and the key to fulfill the game of the action of the Bodhisattvas. Those all we need. Why we need courage? Because to help to the sentient beings is not easy. Even you have the capability to help, like to help the sentient beings, you're determined to like to help the sentient beings. It's not always easy. Not always. There's so many variety of the emotion, thought. Even you do the best, maybe not necessarily they understand exactly that way. Instead that you help, they got maybe the more kind of like, there will be some degree upset. So therefore, you have to have courage. Courage, commitment, that which is also known as patience. Patience. patient for the hardship, the difficulty, the troubles that go through. This is also not just a short-time commitment. Bodhisattva has the commitment to free all the living beings to the enlightenment status. All the living beings. How many beings there? According to Buddha's teaching, there is even no numbers. Numbers. So many beings. And so many these beings, each of them so many emotions, so many karmas, so many negative feelings. So you have to swinging with along the emotion like bumpy ride, it's everywhere. Therefore, Bodhisattva means courageous ones for the enlightenment. Keep courage, commitment, confidence, patience, or the openness, not become timid and tired and bored and depressed and drop them. Then it's not bodhisattvas. Long-lasting goal for enlightenment. Also in the teaching said, great master Shanti Devas and other great masters, if you have the determination to like to help to all the sentient beings, really do that kind of with great compassion. What actually you're doing? You're purifying, or individually purifying our karma, our obscurations, our negativities. In order to do that, what we're gaining, the accumulation merit. When we got accumulation merits, our physical becomes stronger, our immune system becomes stronger, shimmering, shimmering that. And then same time, you also like to meditate and are great on the teachings. Therefore, it also really developing big wisdoms. Big wisdom and that purifying, again, habitual pattern of the obscurations. So among the two obscurations, negative obscurations, emotional obscurations are purifying, and knowledge obscurations are purifying. I'm sure you know all those terminologies and those other philosophies. You can even look to the Googles. You can look what means knowledge obscuration, what means emotion obscurations. You purify that. For that reason, Great Master Shanti Deva said, when you have the great compassion, so even you stay a long time in the samsara, your physical will be in good shape, immune systems, those all are completely strong, developed, you will be very kind of good status, and you won't have the sufferings. So you won't have sufferings. And your mind, wisdom mind is so strong, big, and therefore your mind will be happy, mind will be comfortable and happy, physical will be comfortable and happy. Therefore, even you stay a long time in the samsara by your compassion, you will not be bored and tired. This is really true. That's those great bodhisattvas, great enlightened beings. Externally, it looks like they're going such a big difficulty, troubles. But reality level, maybe they're not exactly experiencing as what we see. So that's really by your power of realizations, power of the merit is transforming. Therefore, then it is known as you become the bodhisattva. Now, when you become the bodhisattva after taking the vows of the bodhicitta, then what do? Now you have to keep that vows. What the great Master Longjiva said in the teachings, the principal vows of the wishing bodhicitta is the poor boundless. Poor boundless, we have sizzling quality, fresh quality of the poor boundless in the heart and mind. That is known as we are keeping up the vows of the wishing bodhicitta. And the four boundless are how we chant. As we chant Buddha sadhana, our gracious kindness, compassion, teachers, practices, Buddha sadhana, we chant. And may all living beings have the happiness and the cause of happiness. That is boundless love, prayer of the boundless love. And may all living beings are free from suffering and cause of suffering. That is boundless compassion. May all living beings always be great, joyful state without any suffering. And that is boundless joy or boundless rejoice. May every living have the great realization of equanimity, free from the attachment to the close ones, and rejection to the others. That is boundless of the equanimities. When we chant that, not just merely lap service or chanting, but really wishing sincerely in heart and mind. Mind, when you do it, we are upkeeping the vows of the wishing Bodhicitta. That is what the vows of the wishing Bodhicitta. And then now, what is the vows of the actualizing Bodhicitta? Again, a great master Untitled said, wishing Bodhicitta, vows of the actualizing Bodhicitta is 6 paramatas. 6 paramatas. Transcendental, generous paramata, if I say, translate. And morality paramatas, patience paramatas, joyful effort paramatas, concentration paramatas, and wisdom paramatas. Those are the 6 paramatas, but based upon the poor boundless. That means the generous paramata based upon the poor boundless, and morality paramata based upon the poor boundless. Patient paramata based upon the poor boundless, and the joyful effort paramata based upon poor boundless. Concentration paramata based upon poor boundless, and wisdom paramata based upon poor boundless. And we keep that sizzling in heart and mind, then do the activity of the 6 paramata. That is known as the vows of the wishing Bodhicitta, very symbolic. On the other word, also in the teaching said, can be all tiny bodhisattvas vows can be summarized into these 3. Those are known as morality that will avoiding all the negativities. All the negativities. Morality that will gathering all the virtues. And morality that will morality that will benefiting for all living beings. All living beings. So that 3 is the summary of the vows of the Bodhisattvas, which is based upon the Vinaya vows. Either way, whether it is lay practitioner or whether it is ordained practitioners. That is based upon that. Then next one is the Vajrayana vows. And I'm going to stop here today, and we go over tomorrow. And already, I think, Lama Laya sent already email, but we are going to continue this retreat another week, and practices that are reminder of the Dharma or refresh our understanding and knowledge about the Dharma, so that we can observe nicely and carry that on. And then also we do the healing practice for all the living beings going through, really that. And then also not just the healing, this cause of these sicknesses too. And then all the suffering, difficulty, every living being is going to have that. So this practice of what we're going to do with healing practices is just for all the purposes, really to kind of wishing that, and then more targeted with all the current situation. And that is then our bodhisattva activity too. Bodhicitta, that's what we can do, is going. And following also instructions of the doctors and experts, everything, and maintain our self-well-being, and also helping to the others, all that is really bodhicitta activity. And then many, I think, understand that also is really good to not go out, and which is good for you, and also good for the others, that which is good for that. So is if we follow this instruction, we lined up in the teaching what we're talking, or what we follow the teaching of the Buddha Shakyamuni and Padma Samye Ling. Okay, so that's my talk today. Thank you very much, everyone. Again, thank you. Now we do That is again just a short meditation, very short meditation, and then we do the healing practices.